and then comes the logic questions. So 26, as you can see, it's a question where we have a cube and we need to find which of the following unfolded ones is the correct one. And from your previous knowledge, you know that some sides here, so you have 1, 2, and 3, which are visible. And we take a look at the ones here, the obvious choices that are mistaken, that are wrong. So we eliminate A because there is no number 3, obviously. We also can eliminate the choice E because, again, there is blank space here, which means if this was the correct choice, here on the top, one of the sides would be blank. So it's also, again, wrong one. And here, C is also incorrect because as possibilities B and D, they need to be close to each other. So whether it's B or D, we can conclude as, so if given, if 1 is the front side, number 2 is the rear side, and 3 is the top side, we can definitely say that, so it's not B, because if 2 is the front, then 1 would be on the right, which is the opposite case here. And if you take 1 as the front side, 2 would be on the left, not on the right. So we eliminate, we only got choice D. That's how you do this kind of questions, by eliminating the obvious choices, and then when you'll come to 2, you will just use the knowledge that you have about solving these types of questions. Question 27. Okay, here we have numbers inside squares. So here again, there are two ways to solve this question. First one is by division. So you divide these two numbers on the side. If you divide them, let me use 45 divided by 9, you get 5. And 5 times 2 equals to 10. So here the key number is 2. Let's do with the second one. So 75 divided by 3. 75 divided by 3 would be 25. And 25 times 2 equals to 50. Here the same. 36 divided by 8. So it's a decimal number. So if you divide it, you will see that you'll get 4.5. And then 4.5 times 2 equals to the number here in the question mark. That would be 9. Or, so I told you this is the first way. This is division. Or you can do by multiplication, by using the operation of multiplication. How? I'll put it here. you multiply the bottom numbers. 9 times 10 equals to 90. Then 90 divided by 2 equals to the top number here, 45. Same goes here, 3 times 50 equals to 150. And 150 divided by 2 equals to 75. And then here, because we don't know the number, we can do 8 times x, 8x equals to 2 times 36, which is 72. And x means, I'm going to write, so you 2 times 36, x equals to 72 minus, divided by 8, and that's how you get 9 again. So double checked, 2 ways of solving, whatever you feel, however you feel comfortable. At the end, you get the same result. It's 9. 28. Okay, you have an operation and you have given the formula. First, the triangle represents 4 times a plus 2, and the square represents 3 times a over 2. So we go step by step here. So the first one is 4 times 4 plus 2, and that is 16 plus 2, 18. And then the second, you'll get 18 and a square right here. Once solved, so square represents this operation here. So 3 times 18, 3 times 18 equals to actually over 2, right? So if we go on order, 3 times 8 is 54. 54 divided by 2 equals to 27, which is choice E here. You just put the numbers in the places of the numbers, of the letters here. We continue with question 29. Okay, we have a number sequence here, 3, 6, 10. You see the sequence increases, but we need to find how. By how? Only whether it's only addition or we have a multiplication and addition, both of them. So here we see it increases by 3. We may say plus 3 or times 2. We'll see which one of them. Then we have 4. Then we have 10, 4. This is 14. So it does not increase additionally only. We may say times 2. Better if I write down like this. So here we have times 2. Then we have plus 4. Then again we have times 2 and plus 4. Then another times 2. So after 48, according to the sequence, there should be plus 4. 48 plus 4 equals to 52, which is choice B. Question 30, you have a shape and then another shape here. But these two shapes are related. How? So take a closer look. You'll see that this shape is divided by 2, like if I put a line in the middle like this. And then each part here rotates 90 degrees. So this one rotates 90 degrees clockwise to the right. And this part of the shape rotates counterclockwise 90 degrees to the left. And you will get this one. So there is this line which divides in the middle. And you see, once they rotated, you get this part. We'll do the same with this shape. So we divide by 2. We're dividing and then rotating these parts clockwise and counterclockwise. And what you need to do to check the possible solutions, we see that once rotated, these horizontal ones will be vertical, so we can directly eliminate C and D, and then take a look at these black triangles. So this one on the left will be on the top, and the one on the right will be on the bottom. So which means that B and A are eliminated as well, and the correct choice would be E. Question pardon me. Question 31. Again, we have symbols and numbers. So each symbol here represents one of the numbers here. What is obvious from here, we know that you see there are 2 squares, 2 circles, and 3 triangles, and a star. So obviously we can say that the star, there's 1 star, so there's number 1, 3 triangles, which represents number 3 here, and then we have 2 from both of them, but we don't know which is which. Here the important thing is the order. So we know that the star on the next shape, the star comes at the end. So, and just to double check it, so now we have a square which is number 1, right? And from the obvious we have the triangle which is number 2. We have 3 stars and 3 circles. From the previous shape, we know that the star is at the end, and circles are the first shapes. Number 3 represents these circles. So here we can, again, from our previous knowledge, from the previous shapes, we know the order right now. First comes the circle, which is number 4. There are 4 of them. Then what is number 2? Numbers 2 are the triangles. We have 2 triangles. Then comes the rectangle, actually 3 of them, 3 rectangles, and at the end we have 2 stars. So 4, 2, 3, 2, and that would be choice 4, 2, 3, 2, B. That's it. Just pay attention to the order of the shapes and their numbers. That's it. Question 32. Okay, this one will take you 5 seconds if you're, at this point. You see 8, you see 64, and nothing else matters. You have 11 and 120 well. So directly, square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 121 is 11. And square root of 225 is, I can hear you, 15. Yeah. That's it. Less than 5 seconds. Okay. Question 33. We have numbers three-digit numbers and shapes here. Okay, so more or less in every entrance exam we have a question like this. You need to find out which number what number represents what shape. So if we take a look at this line here, parallel, we'll see that except for the squares and the circles, the black square here does not repeat. It's only once. It appears only once. It means that that is number 1. So the black square is number 1, which means that we'll start with a black circle, square, and then we can directly eliminate the other choices which do not start with a black square. Now we need to find one of the other shapes. Take a look at the first row, let's say, here. The first row. Again, we have 2 circles and 2 black squares, and we already know that the black ones are 1, which means that the circle is 3 and the square is white square. So we have something like this: a white square and a circle. So black square, white square, and a white circle, which is choice B, obviously. Question 34. Here we have another number sequence, and this is just the same as the question from 2018. If you remember, those who solved 2018, you would remember that there was an exact same question. Maybe the numbers are different, but the logic is the same. So numbers increase. The first one increased by 10. The second one increases by +9. Here we don't know yet. Here we still don't know. Here we see it's +6. Here we see it's +5. And you need to fill it in the gaps: 10, 9, 8, and 7, then 6 and 5. So 26 plus 8 equals to 34, which is choice A. Just to double check it, 34 plus 7 is 41, which is true. Question 35. Okay, we have shapes, and so shape number 1. This row is number 2, and shape row number 3. So again, basic maths here. The first shape plus the second shape gives the third shape. So this plus this, you got this one. And the same goes for the second row. The third row tells us we have a hexagon and a rectangle. So the choice would be, it cannot be E, it cannot be B. So it's either A, C, or D. And you just take a look at the black and white triangles. So if you take a look at the down part here, you'll see that at the end, the whole is going to be a black rectangle. So you put this here. At the end, you get a black rectangle at the bottom. So it's not A, it's not D, it's definitely C. You see here 2 triangles. but they are in the same place, so it stays like this here. Question 36. Okay, if we do the same logic here, row number 1, column, let's say column number 2, 3, and the fourth column. So what's the relationship? Let's see. It's again, so if we take a look at this one, the first one here. So this triangle plus this triangle gives you shape number 3, and at the end, at 4, we just get the intersection part, only this part. See, it's something like baklava here, call it, and that's the intersection part. We are just interested at the end, at the intersection part. We have two triangles, rectangles here, pardon me. On the second row, we have horizontal rectangle and a vertical rectangle. Then we add them up, and the intersection part is this square, right? This is the intersection part here. The same goes with the ovals. We have a vertical oval, a horizontal one. We add them up, and we are only interested in this intersection part here, which is not a square, definitely not a circle, and it's something like this, D. Take a look at the lines. They are not straight, so C, E is definitely not, so it's choice D, the intersection. Question 37. Okay, here it may confuse you for a moment. If we, the first thing that may come to your mind is 5 plus 4 equals to 9, which is true for the first shape. But for about the second case, is not true. We have 6 and 3. So if we add them up, we don't get 27, we just get 9, which means that we're not doing well. So we go back and try to find out how this, how 4, and what we need to do with 5 and 4 in order to get 9. So here, I told you earlier, we just, we're at logic, we're dealing with the basic operations and sometimes with powers. So my point is 5 to the power 2 and 4 to the power of 2, or 5 square and 4 square. Here we get 25. Here we get 16, right? If you subtract them, 25 minus 16, you get 9. Equals to 9. Here the same. 6 square minus 3 square means 36 minus 9 is 27, and we'll do the same here. 7 square minus 5 square, which is 49. 49 minus 25, and then we get 24, right? Choice B. Okay, question 38. We have 49 and then a black triangle here, and then the result is 13. I always tell you that the results here are correct. There is nothing wrong with them. We need to look at the numbers here and what possible operation does this symbol represent. We need to find this thing. So this time, rather than focusing on here on 49 as a whole number, think of it as two individual numbers, 4 and 9, right? 4 and 9. And if we add 4 plus 9, you'll see that you'll get 13. Let's see here, 5 plus 6, you get 11. And here, 4 plus 7, you get 11, right? But we're not done because there are two triangles. It means that we need to repeat the same action 2 times. So 11 and a black triangle here. I'm manually doing it. Means, so 11, but we said don't look at it as 11. So we see 1 and 1, and we add them. 1 plus 1 equals 2, which is choice E. Okay, that's it. Question 39. Okay, we have another circle, and earlier we had a few questions like this, but the previous ones you had the powers. They were related like this: 6 with 120, 0 and 30, and question mark with 24. But this time it won't make sense. We'll just focus at how they increase each time. So from 0 to 6, then from 6 to 24, from 24 to 30, from 30 to 120, and then in what order 130 we get the question mark by using 120. So first one is simple. From 0 to 6 we end up when we add 6. Then from 6 to 24 there are two ways, right? First one is adding 18. Then I'm not writing for now because I want to show you something. Then again we add here 6. You see it's repeating 6, 6, and according to this logic, as I said, there should be 30 plus 18, but it's not the case. So we're not adding here, but we are multiplying. 6 times 4 is 24, and 30 times 4 is 120. So this is how the numbers increase, by adding 6 and then multiplying by 4. Adding 6, multiplying 4, which means that the next step would be adding 6 again. 120 plus 6, you get 126. And the last question for today, another very similar one to the previous to question, what was it? Okay, here, question 33, the similar method, the similar logic. We take a look at the same shapes, the ones that repeat, and the ones that are, you see, less repetitive. So the last ones should be same. If you take a look, all of the numbers end with 1, but also this one here, the first number should be 1. And at choice D and C, that's not the case. We eliminate them immediately because the first number should have been 1, which is not in this case. Then take a look at another numbers that repeat. For example, take a look at these here, the triangles. You see, so the first and the last number, the second digit should be same, and on the second number here, the third digit should be same. It should be something like this: 2, 2, and here this should have been 2, but it's not. That's why we eliminate. Then we have 2, 7 and 2. Again, they're not the same. And here we have 5, 5, 5, which are the same. And this leads us to the correct answer. Just in case, you see here, the black circles are the same, and it tells us, just in case, to double check, triple check, whenever, 2 and 2 are the same. So we got, for sure, we got the correct answer. That's E. Okay, thank you for your attention. That would be it for today. Take care and see you on the next course. Bye, everyone.